بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. English made simple, Mr. Khalid Musalhi. Today, inshallah, we're going to continue our explanation of the present simple tense. Let me remind you of what we did last time. The first thing we learned about the present simple is the usage. We said we use the present simple for habits, facts, and future timetables. By habits, I mean the things that are regular, the things that we do as a habit. I visit my friends at the weekend. This is my habit. We usually walk to school. This is my habit. Or facts, things that are scientifically proven or general truths. If we say that the sun rises in the east, this means that everyone knows it. It's a general truth. Water boils at 100 degrees centigrade is a scientific fact. This is an example of facts. Future timetables. By future timetables, I mean the things that happen according to a timetable. For example, the flight to London takes off at 5 p.m. This happens according to a timetable. The second thing we learned about the present simple is the form. We have two forms, with I, we, you, and they, and any plural noun, we use the verb. We play basketball. I watch TV. They sometimes help their mom. All these refer to the form we use with I, we, you, or they. With he, she, and it, or any singular noun, we use the verb plus s, es, and ies, and this is part of what we will explain today. The last thing we learned about the present simple is the adverbs of frequency. Every, always, usually, often, sometimes, and never. When we see any of the adverbs of frequency in a sentence, this means we should use the forms of the present simple. Just the verb or verb plus ses or ies. Okay, and now let's move to the negative form. We said that we have the verb or verb plus ses, ies. In the negative form, the verb is used with I, we, you, they, or any plural nouns. If you have the verb in front of you, or I, we, you, or they, in the negative form, we use don't plus the infinitive. We use don't plus the infinitive, the bare verb, the verb without any addition. Let's look at the first example. I play football. We use don't here. I don't play football. Another example. They watch TV. Who can change it? Who can change it into negative? The answer is they don't watch TV. Now let's look at the second side with the verb plus s, es, ies. If your verb is with an s, es, ies, this means that the subject is he, she, it, or singular nouns, or the uncountable nouns. Now, the auxiliary or the helping verb we'll use is doesn't. Doesn't plus infinitive. Let's look at this example together. She studies maths. Here, the negative form is she doesn't study math. She doesn't study math. If you notice this, if you look at the verb study, we remove the ies and put the y instead. We put the infinitive form. John lives in Canada. Yes, John doesn't live in Canada. In this sentence, we removed the s because after don't or doesn't, we use the infinitive form, the bare form of the verb without any addition. Now let's look at negative with adverbs of frequency. Sometimes, usually, every, always, often. Let's look at this example. He always walks in the park, which becomes he doesn't always walk in the park. We can change this sentence into negative in a different way. He never walks in the park. And in that case, we'll use never and keep walks unchanged. Let's look at the second example. They often go to the mall at the weekend. Who can change it in the same way? Yes, they don't go to the mall at the weekend. They don't. And we said with I, we, you, and they, or plural nouns, we use don't for negative. Or we change often into never. The sentence would become like this. They never go to the mall at the weekend. They never go to the mall at the weekend. Now our second part today is asking questions with the present simple tense. Again, we'll use do or does for auxiliary. Look at the sentence. He always walks in the park becomes, if you want to ask a question here, you will use does as an auxiliary verb, as a helping verb. Does he always walk in the park? And in that case, we said we'll remove the S from the verb walks. It becomes walk. Does he always walk in the park? The answer here would be yes, he does, or no, he doesn't. We can say it like this. Where does he walk? And the answer would be in the park. Let's look at the other example. They often go to the mall at the weekend. Can you answer it? Can you make a question? A yes/no question? Do they often go to the mall at the weekend? And the answer is yes, they do, or no, they don't. And we can ask a question about the time or the place. Here we'll ask about the time. When do they often go to the mall? When do they often go to the mall? When? What's your answer? At the weekend. Okay, now we're finished with auxiliary verbs or the helping verbs of the present simple, negatives, and questions. As for the spelling of the present simple tense, the third person singular with he, she, it, and singular nouns, we use s, es, or ies. Let's begin with the ies. We use the ies when we have a y preceded by a consonant. When a consonant, T, D, K, L, N, P, Q, S, come before a y. In that case, we remove the y and add an ies. For example, if you look at the list in front of you, we find try, which becomes he tries. Cry, cries. Rely, relies. Glorify, glorifies. In that case, we notice that the y has a consonant before it. If it doesn't have a consonant, we cannot change it. The rule here says that a y preceded by a consonant is weak. We need to change it all the time. And now with the es. We use the es when our verb ends in one of these 5 letters. S, ch, sh, x, or o. Look at the examples in front of you. Cross, crosses, watch, watches, wash, washes, mix, mixes, go, and goes. These verbs had the endings in front of us. As a result, the es has been added to note the third person singular subject. And now the last thing is the s. With all other verbs, I began with the y because here in this case, in this example, it's preceded by a vowel, not a consonant. By a vowel. A, E, I, O, and U are all called vowels. If the y is preceded by a vowel, it's strong. Do not change it at all with any addition. Play becomes plays with s. Speak, speaks. Run, runs. Sleep, sleeps. And here the rule says all endings except the endings mentioned with an es and ies. Our lesson is finished today. If you like it, please press like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. If you have any question, let me know in your comments. Let me hear from you. Goodbye. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.